disasters that we've seen recently, a lot of them could actually be traced to the way ministers are doing, or shall we say, not doing their job. One would look at the Ngandla saga as an example. One could look at the appointment of the National Director of Public, or in fact several National Directors of Public Prosecutions as another example. What are you going to do?
Well, I think we should not confuse the roles of leader of government business and the role that the executive plays. Leader of government business is in relation to Parliament. And what you're talking about, the actual performance of ministers, the appointment of all these people.
Let me explain.
It's in relation to the executive, to the role in the executive, so the two need to be sort of separated.
Well, here's why I'm raising this, Mr. Deputy President. It is because in some instances, in my view, the failure to account to Parliament properly, in my view, could have averted some of the things we've seen. So I'm not just talking about their work as ministers, but the requirement to come and account to Parliament. Had they done that and done it properly and timeously, they could have avoided some of the PR disasters we've seen around the examples I've mentioned.
Well, let me just explain how we're going to try to work in the fifth administration. What happened in the fourth administration. We're now in the fifth administration, and the Deputy President is in charge or runs the government business in relation to Parliament, is to make sure that, yes, ministers answer questions in Parliament, and we work well with Parliament, and there's a smooth communication and cooperation between Parliament and the executive. And that has been done fairly well in the past, and I will continue with that process quite easily. But the more important and new way that we are going to work is how ministers are going to now be more accountable, particularly to the President. The ministers are going to be meeting with the President and the Deputy President and outline precisely what they are going to do in implementing the National Development Plan and the manifesto of the ruling party. They're going to sign contracts with the President, and flowing from that, they are going to be required to implement their programs, and all that will be consolidated in the medium-term strategic framework, which is really the program that government has set out for the next 5 years. And there will then be increased accountability, an accountability model or framework which was inaugurated by President Zuma when he established the Ministry of Monitoring and Evaluation. And that ministry, which resides in the presidency, is now going to be able to follow through the performance of ministers at various departments, and on a periodic basis there will be active assessment and evaluation of ministers by the President, and we will then be able, the Deputy President working with the President, will then be able to ensure that ministers do live up to their commitments, live up to what is set out in the agreement with the President. And so that is the real exciting part, which is going to put the performance of government on a better and firmer trajectory going forward. And all this is being done in the aid of making sure that we deliver what we said we would.
And do not undermine Parliament, including opposition parties. Because, I mean, when one looks at some of the problems that we've seen over the years, there are people who feel that actually the rot set in, so to speak, when members of the executive started undermining Parliament. And by that I mean specifically members of the opposition, for example, who would be raising pertinent questions, but because they do not belong to the governing party, ministers dismiss them. Sometimes they don't even show up. And these have been some of the problems. And not showing up for committees and for Parliament is, in fact, your responsibility.
We are now in the 5th administration, and we are going to work to ensure that we implement government program, and the government program, embedded in it is increased accountability, it's increased transparency. We want to see people who are deployed in government being accountable and doing their work, and the President is very clear on this. So in the new administration, we're going to see quite a lot of action taking place. And all this is not just a statement in itself. It is to ensure that we deliver a better life to our people. That's what it is all about. When you remove everything else, what this means is we would like South Africans to have a better life, to get exactly what the ruling party has promised in its manifesto. And through this, we want to move South Africa forward. There is no better way of moving this country forward than to have better performance by government, better performance by ministers, better implementation of the National Development Plan, of the manifesto. So we are in an era of implementation and great activity.
Mr. Deputy President, we're going to take another quick ad break.
Just the way we like it. You ready?
There were these 4 kids on the block and they, well, how do I put this? Like to consume goods. It made them walk slower, made them see things, made them not see things.
Do you guys hear that? Feels like Jerry Garcia's in my head.
And sometimes it even made them hear things. When they were older, they got together and, well, shared these goods.
You sure I should do this, man?
And it made everything change.
$7 for a used Kenny Loggins record? I'll give you 5.
He autographed it himself.
I'll give you 4. Just
They're either half asleep or half baked. Monday at 9:30 on SABC2.
everybody, it's me, Pearl Muriaria.
And I'm Maps Maponyane.
And you're supposed to tell them why we're here.
Oh yes, we'll be bringing you all the facts that are happening on and off the field and everything that's hip and happening on the streets of Brazil.
That is, of course, the lifestyle. Everything you love about Brazil. Then catch us on Casi to Favelas.
You don't want to miss it. Every day, 8:30 p.m. on SABC1.
Welcome back to this conversation with the Deputy President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, following President Jacob Zuma's State of the Nation address on Tuesday. Well, you've had to assume a lot of the President's responsibility. This at about the same time you've just joined government. It must be crazy.
Well, yes, it was some baptism of fire. My first task was to chair the government Lekgotla. I'd never been in a cabinet meeting before, so with the help of a deep briefing by the President and the help of my colleagues, we were able to navigate our way through that, and we had a very good government Lekgotla, which was focused, which looked very carefully at the types of things that the President announced in the State of the Nation address. It was really good. I was most impressed with the robust debate and discussions that take place in cabinet. I mean, those ministers and deputy ministers who were in the Lekgotla, and we were then joined by the premiers as well, some of the best sons and daughters that have been produced by this country. They're really good, on top of their game, and very well informed about their areas of responsibility. So I was impressed.
The few times journalists got an opportunity to go in, all the pictures we saw of you were of you smiling, in fact laughing, and sharing jokes, and was it that, were you that happy?
Well, that's my general nature, and I get to relax by interacting with colleagues. So that was wonderful. But the meeting and the business of the Lekgotla went extremely well, and thereafter it was a proper cabinet meeting, and thereafter it was swearing in a deputy minister, Deputy Minister Zanele Kamagwaza Msibi. So that went well, and all this happened while the President was working at home. So I had access to him, and I was able to talk to him and get good tips from him.
Like?
Oh, no, just tips on how to handle all these matters that were coming up for debate and discussion, and the depth of knowledge and experience that the President has is quite enormous, and I was very privileged.
You haven't started missing the ordinary life?
Well, yeah, I'm getting into the stream of my new life.
You're going to be at it for another 5 years at least.
Yes, it's a 5-year run, and you just have to get on and do the work. So if you are accustomed to working in organizations and structures where there are proper structures and rules and everything, then it is not so difficult.
But what you've gotten into now, is a far cry from sitting in boardrooms and talking about billions and trillions of rands, isn't it?
This is much bigger. This is South Africa Inc. is much bigger than any company sitting on any board of any corporation. This is South Africa. We're talking about a country of 51 million people. We're talking about an economy that is huge, about the 23rd largest economy in the world. So this is it. This is very big, and it's serious because it affects the lives of ordinary people. And when one is acting in that regard, you are actually dealing with the lives of people. When I was in business, I used to say, my task is to manage other people's money. That's what one does when you are in business. You're not really just managing your money, it's other people's money. So your level of responsibility is high. But in government, I see my task as managing other people's lives.
And they are diverse.
And they are diverse, and there are South Africans, they are Democrats, they are noisy, they are difficult, and they are focused, and they have interests, and you've got to manage all that. So it's much bigger.
Has it not started challenging your core beliefs, your philosophy? Because on the one hand, you have this granny who just wants a house or electricity. On the other hand, you have this big business guy who is a billionaire, but who also wants something that this poor granny cannot even dream of having.
This is the joy of being a member of the African National Congress, because when you're an ANC member, you are in an organization where you are enveloped by good policies, where you are guided by good experience, a tried and tested experience of 102 years, and you've got colleagues who are well steeped in their knowledge and understanding of issues that impact the lives of our people. So whether it's a business person or a granny in Guavuma or Thoyando or Guyani, it's the same thing that you're dealing with. You're dealing with implementing the policies of the African National Congress that has an impact on the lives of people in a very general way.
And you don't think that being in government or being the ruling party has sort of started messing with that identity of the ANC? Because on the one hand, you have to spend billions in arms, and then on the other hand, you have children who are learning under trees and with no textbooks.
That's where being in the ANC helps, because we've got policies that run right across the spectrum. Policies that deal with the environment, policies that deal with that child who does not have textbooks, who's learning under a tree, and policies that also deal with the multi-billion rand power station that we're building. So all that is addressed and carefully articulated in ANC policy, and we who have now been chosen and elected to be in the positions in which we are is to execute those policies. And when we execute them, we say we have a bias towards working people, towards poor people, because it is they who need greater upliftment and assistance and empowerment. So we focus on them, but at the same time, we keep a balance with the interests of all other people in our country. So it's a great task, and it's actually a privilege for all of us who are in the legislature, who are in cabinet, to have been given this very rare opportunity to improve the lives of our people.
But it's a space that also has its own contradictions, and do you think the ANC is doing well in managing those contradictions?
A political organization, and especially the ANC's task, has to be managing contradictions. We have contradictions all the time, and we manage them. And as we manage them, we seek ways in which we can advance the interests of the poor, we can advance the interests of the less off, the unemployed, and we can reduce poverty, can reduce inequality in our country, and advance grow our economy. So that is where the real magic lies for us as we manage all these contradictions.
And you don't think that Julius Malema stands a chance? The poor, the working class are still very much on your side and will continue to be there for much longer.
The people of this country love the ANC. They love the ANC not only because it has been in existence for 102 years. They love and support the ANC because they have seen what the ANC has done over the years, 82 years, and more specifically, the 20 years when it has been in government. It has improved their lives. They have seen how their lives have changed. They are the ones who see and feel and can touch the fact that South Africa is a different place from what it was in 1994. One does not even need to teach them that. One does not even need to preach to them. All one needs to do is to say, we are the ANC, and they say, this organization of Mandela and Zuma, you've done well for us in the last 20 years, and we will continue to support you. So that is where the support of the ANC derives from. It derives from its work, not so much from its history. Yes, its history is important in as far as forming the foundation, but people are then also able to look into the future and say, is this the organization we can continue to trust to improve our lives into the future? They look at our manifesto and say yes, and that is why the ANC got a resounding victory in the elections of more than 62%.
And beyond this point, they will look at leaders like you and believe that you do truly represent them.
Well, we try. We are humble. And we are grateful that they have chosen us to lead them. They've chosen President Zuma to lead them, and we will execute our work, and we will try to meet and address their aspirations. That's all we can do. But we are armed by good policies, and we are also supported by their massive support that they demonstrated in the elections.
Deputy President, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa. That's where we end this conversation. Thanks very much for watching.
The Vodacom Durban July is around the corner, and SABC2 is giving one lucky viewer a chance to win one double ticket to the VIP Boomtown in Durban on the 5th of July. The package includes flights, transport, and accommodation. To win, simply tell us which channel will be broadcasting the Vodacom Durban July. SMS your name and answer to 34022. Get ready for the party of your life with SABC2 and Vodacom Durban July.
SABC 2 en RSG bring die Krone konsert vir die eerste keer Gauteng toe. So maak jou reg vir 'n movie se Samson Joel op 26 Julie by Carnival City. Kaartjies vanaf slegs R100, nou beskikbaar by CompuTicket.
You've seen Tandaza get married. Her wedding dress could be yours. Like the Standard Bank Facebook page and follow instructions to share your dream. You could be a winner. T's and C's apply.
My dear family, the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil has arrived. So here are some rules that will help keep the CBS happy at all times. Do not touch the remote control. I own it for the whole 4 weeks. All your birthdays, family marriages, and graduation parties are cancelled for the next month. There is a 5-hour difference between Brazil and Mzansi. Don't ask me why I'm not going to work. There will be no talking during the game. That's what halftime is there for. I don't want to hear Cristiano Ronaldo being described as hot. This is soccer, man, not a fashion show. I have a right to watch the repeat matches and the highlights, because I can. Don't ask silly questions like, is Ronaldo from Brazil the uncle to Ronaldo from Portugal? South Africa did not qualify. Do not ask me, when is Bafana playing? Stick to these simple rules and let's enjoy the beautiful game, the way you like it. Lots of love from me, Jabu Sibia.
Top stories, entertainment.
Every single morning.
Dubious goals. Entertainment, celebrity gossip, and what's hot or not.
Good Morning Brazil comes to you at 6 a.m. every single day, exclusive to SABC1.
We'll bring you all 64 games live each and every day.
The beautiful game, just the way you like it. Can't do what did I say?
SABC, the official broadcaster of the 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil.